The Jeddah Corniche circuit never fails to stir drama, and the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was no exception. Under the lights of the world's fastest street circuit, we witnessed defining moments for some of Formula One's biggest stars, both positive and painful. For some, the desert night shone brightly, while others found themselves walking away from Jeddah under heavy skies. As the curtain fell on the first triple header of the season, tensions are rising, narratives are forming, and questions are surfacing. Who truly made a leap forward, and who's staring down a long-to-do list ahead of Miami? Let's break it all down in a way only we can, with sharp insight, genuine passion, and a fresh perspective that cuts through the noise. This is our curated list of 5 standout winners and 5 drivers or teams who'll be reflecting deeply over the break. Let's dive into the real story of who leaves Saudi Arabia with a spring in their step and who's walking away with sand in their shoes. Oscar Piastri's performance under the Saudi Arabian floodlights wasn't just a victory. It was a defining moment in his young career. Starting from P2 after a narrowly missed pole, Piastri didn't hang his head. He knew the McLaren had pace, and when the lights went out, he reacted like a future world champion. He launched off the line with precision, kept his nerve against Verstappen, and forced the Red Bull into a defensive move that proved costly. Verstappen cut turn 2 and picked up a 5-second time penalty. That moment changed the entire complexion of the race. From there, Piastri was cool, calm, and in total control. What stood out wasn't just the win, his third in 5 races this season, but how clinical he was. His tire management, communication with the team, and sheer confidence across the weekend are the hallmarks of a driver in championship contention. And that's exactly where he sits now, leading the driver's standing for the first time in his F1 career. This wasn't a fluke or a lucky break. This was a warning shot to the rest of the grid. While McLaren left Saudi Arabia with a victory, not everything went according to plan. Lando Norris, who entered the weekend as the championship leader, saw his momentum come to a screeching halt. He crashed in Q3, a rare mistake from a driver who's typically as precise as they come. That mistake saw him start 10th, a brutal position on a circuit that punishes any compromise in rhythm. To his credit, Lando fought hard in the race. His recovery to P4 showcased his ability to maximize tire life and pull off clean, confident overtakes. But it wasn't enough to preserve the championship lead. Piastri now sits 10 points ahead, and with Miami looming, the sight of Lando's first career win, the pressure will be immense. For Lando, this isn't a crisis, but it's a reminder that in this title fight, there's no room for even minor errors. He'll need a flawless bounce back to regain the upper hand, especially with McLaren's form suggesting both cars can fight at the front. It might not have made headlines like Piastri's win, but Charles Leclerc's drive in Jeddah was nothing short of masterful. Starting P4 after once again out-qualifying his 7-time world champion teammate Lewis Hamilton, Leclerc delivered a race filled with composure, intelligence, and razor-sharp timing. He managed his medium tires beautifully during the opening stint, extended his window when others faltered, and used fresher rubber in the closing stages to attack. His reward? Ferrari's first podium of the season. This was a crucial result for Leclerc, not just for points, but for internal momentum. In a team still finding its identity with Hamilton now on board, Leclerc sent a clear message. He remains Ferrari's top performer. And more importantly, he proved that when the strategy aligns, he's still one of the grid's most complete drivers. The struggle continues for Lewis Hamilton, and while that might sound dramatic for someone who qualified P7 and finished P7, context is everything. He was a staggering half a second off Leclerc in qualifying and never truly looked comfortable. Hamilton said it plainly, "I just lacked grip." His comments post-race spoke volumes. He's wrestling with a Ferrari that refuses to dance to his tune. In Saudi Arabia, he was fighting the car through every corner, unable to extract the performance he knows lies beneath the surface. This isn't about rust or lack of effort. Hamilton is one of the most adaptable drivers in history. But this project at Ferrari is proving to be a bigger challenge than expected. That said, it's still early days, and he's shown flashes of pace. But he'll need more than flashes to turn this chapter into a success story. Let's give some credit where it's truly due. Williams, often seen as the underdogs of the grid, are quietly putting together a very respectable campaign. Scoring double points with Carlos Sainz in P8 and Alex Albon in P9 is no small feat on a circuit like Jeddah. Sainz, who missed last year's Saudi race due to appendix surgery, returned with intent. His qualifying in P6 was sharp, and his teamwork during the race, keeping Albon in DRS range to fend off Hadjar, was clever and selfless. Albon, meanwhile, continues to prove why he's the backbone of this team. That's 4 points finishes in 5 races, consistency that teams like Haas or Aston Martin would kill for right now. With those combined results, Williams leapfrogs into 5th in the constructors' standings. A remarkable climb considering where they were just a year ago. Let's be clear, Max Verstappen didn't have a bad weekend. But by his lofty standards, and in a title fight this close, second place will feel like a loss. After an incredible lap in qualifying to take pole by just 0.010 seconds, the Dutchman was in prime position to dominate. But a bold move at the start backfired. Cutting turn 2 to defend against Piastri earned him a 5-second time penalty, and that's all it took to lose the win. The pace was there, the execution not quite. He still walks away with strong points and sits only 12 behind Piastri. But in a season this competitive, he knows every lost opportunity matters. Verstappen has the grit, the speed, and the racecraft. But Red Bull's margins for error are shrinking, and Jeddah proved that even the smallest misjudgment can swing the race. Rookie performances often go under the radar, especially when the spotlight is on the frontrunners. But Isaac Hadjar deserves recognition for his Sunday recovery. After qualifying a disappointing P14, his worst of the season, Hadjar responded like a true racer. He kept his head, bided his time, and snatched the final point in P10. That point might not change championships, but it was crucial for morale, especially after being out-qualified by Liam Lawson for the first time this season. Hadjar's performance also gave his team their first points in Jeddah since 2022, a statistic that highlights just how tricky this track has been for them. He's showing signs of maturity and race day resilience that can't be taught. And in a sport where talent needs to prove itself quickly, Hadjar is doing just that. You know expectations have shifted when a P5, P6 finish feels like a letdown. George Russell and Kimi Antonelli had solid Saturdays. Russell just over a 10th off pole in P3, and Antonelli matching his best ever start in P5. But Sunday exposed the real issue, race pace. Mercedes couldn't hang with McLaren or Verstappen, and even Leclerc's Ferrari got past them. Their high downforce package looked tidy over one lap, but fell off the cliff in race trim. It's not a disaster by any means. Both cars finished in the top 6. But for a team chasing wins again, it's not good enough. There's work to be done if they want to be more than best of the rest. P11 usually doesn't earn you praise, but Fernando Alonso continues to extract magic from machinery that shouldn't be anywhere near the points. Starting P14 in a car he's publicly admitted is among the slowest on the grid, Alonso made up 3 positions and battled hard to the line. The fact that this is considered a highlight shows how rough things are at Aston Martin, but it also shows the difference a driver like Alonso makes. He's relentless, he's patient, and he's still delivering value every Sunday. It's only a matter of time before he breaks into the points, and when that happens, it won't be luck. It'll be sheer willpower and race IQ. After 3 consecutive point-scoring races, Haas came into Jeddah with high hopes, but the tight, high-speed layout exposed their biggest weakness, cornering stability. Neither Ollie Behrman nor Esteban Ocon could crack the top 10, and their qualifying performance was particularly disheartening. Behrman, who impressed in Saudi last year with Ferrari, finished P13. A respectable effort, but a far cry from the heights he's capable of. Haas now drops to 6th in the constructors' standings, still close enough to fight back, but momentum is everything in F1. They'll need updates and fast to keep pace with the likes of Williams. The 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix wasn't just another race in the calendar. It was a snapshot of an F1 season that's shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable in recent memory. Oscar Piastri's rise, Lando's redemption arc, Leclerc's silent brilliance, and Verstappen's rare misstep, these stories aren't isolated. They're the fabric of a season that's testing every driver, every team, and every decision. What we're witnessing isn't dominance, it's competition. Real, raw, race-to-race competition. That's what keeps us glued. That's what F1 should be. Hello, McLaren faithfuls. Stand a chance of winning $1,000 by hitting that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe so you never miss any McLaren and F1 updates with relaxing ASMR elements. McLaren Faithful's YouTube channel is now covered in English and multiple languages. Your support is what keeps this incredible community growing stronger every day. It costs you nothing to like and subscribe, but it helps the channel tremendously. Let's continue the conversation and share our passion for McLaren and F1 together. As a YouTube member, you can also discover my journey as a passionate creator navigating life with challenging disabilities. Despite the obstacles, I'm determined to follow my dreams and share my love for McLaren and F1 with the world. By becoming a YouTube member, you'll not only be supporting my dream, but you'll also gain access to exclusive content, including untold stories of legendary F1 drivers and much more. Your support can truly make a difference in my life, helping me continue to do what I love. Join McLaren Faithful's membership below and enjoy.